Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about my Himekaji clothing tips for plus size princesses. So to start off with, I would not be normally considered like a plus size person. In New Zealand I fit very nicely into like the middle section of the like size ranges. But in Japan I would be considered a plus size princess because I just don't fit into the measurements. I just do not fit into a Japanese one size range. And therefore it makes it very difficult to get into Japanese fashion if you do not fit into that one size range. And the one size range is actually not that bad, like it does encompass a couple of sizes. But if you are a curvier person like I am, it's just not realistic a lot of the time. So in order to dress in the Himekaji style, which is my favorite clothing style, I have to make a lot of changes and I can only buy really specific types of clothing items from Japanese brands. So to start off with, Himekaji is a combination of two words, hime meaning princess and kaji meaning casual. And the fashion style is just a casual princess style. So think about a princess who is off duty. A lot of the time Himekaji fashion incorporates a lot of pastel colors, so your light pinks, baby blues, lilacs, yellows, but then they also have their winter colors which are more jewel toned, so you see a lot of burgundies and navies. You do not see a lot of like bright colors, so no fuchsia pinks, no bright oranges, or like those autumnal colors like pumpkin or mustard. Those just aren't generally used in the Himekaji fashion range. It's not to say that you cannot wear those colors, it's just that you'll struggle to find clothing in Japanese brands that use those colors in the Himekaji fashion. Himekaji does have some basic rules that you should follow or guidelines as to how you should dress to be in the Himekaji style. However, you do not have to use these rules. It's just that your outfit won't be seen as Himekaji if you don't follow at least some of them. And being plus size means that I cannot follow all of the guidelines or rules specifically, but that's okay. So most of Himekaji fashion comes from Japan, which means that all of the brands are Japanese, most of the brands are Japanese, and they usually follow the Japanese one size fits all. Now this isn't actually too bad, so you can actually see that I'm wearing some Japanese clothes here. Both of these items are from Liz Lisa and I can clearly fit into them. Maybe they don't look the best and maybe they don't fit the best, but I can still get my body into them. There are, however, some items as being a plus-sized or curvy person I cannot wear, the main thing being shirts. So this is a Liz Lisa sweater. I can fit into it because it is stretchy around the bust area, but it actually doesn't fit that well because I'm going to show you in a little bit, but around the embroidery you can see that the actual fabric is stretching but the embroidery isn't, so it looks really warped. And in general, this is supposed to look quite baggy and relaxed, and on me it just looks like it's very tight, it is very fitted. I also find sleeves for me to be a huge problem. The sleeves are always just really short. I don't know if I have really long monkey arms or something like that, but I always find like there's a good couple of inches left on my arms that are getting cold in the winter. So this is an example of something that I can get into, but it doesn't actually fit that well. You can kind of see around the embroidery that the fabric is really stretched out, and then in places it's not. It just looks a little strange. It's not awful, but it's a telltale sign that the clothing piece doesn't really fit. The other clothing item that I'm wearing at the moment is this Liz Lisa skirt, which is actually a pair of shorts. And it is super cute. I really love the pattern and the color of this one. I wish that it wasn't shorts because this means that it is shorter than your normal skirt. Plus it has satin shorts on the inside, so if you're not really aware of that, they are really tight. Like I can get my legs into them, but like it's a little bit of a struggle, like they just fit, and the satin has no stretch whatsoever. So one of the tips is to make sure that you measure yourself and have accurate measurements of your body. I just keep my measurements on my computer and I measure myself like if I feel like I have changed. But my bust at the moment is around about 100, my waist is 80, and my bum and hips are 100. I actually have no bum, but my hips are really wide, so I have a classic hourglass shape, which makes life kind of hard and kind of easy at the same time. Like it's a nice shape to flatter, but like the boobs can sometimes be a pain in the butt. So with this pair of shorts, I find that it's a little bit too short for me to wear normally, but the thing with the Liz Lisa skirts, at least most of them are a circle skirt pattern, so they come out pretty far to the side, so they are what we call a free hip. So it doesn't matter really how big your hips are, as long as you can fit your waist into them, then they are going to come outwards and downwards, which is usually quite flattering. Like I said, this one has shorts in it and it is shorter because it is actually a pair of shorts, not a skirt. but all of the other skirts are like this, so they have that nice circle skirt sort of shape, which makes them way easier to wear. But I would recommend definitely having your bust measurement, your waist, as well as your hips, because those are the main key points that you need. But also, I would measure a skirt that you think is a good length for you and then compare that to the skirt measurements. So for this one, I knew it was about 2 centimeters shorter than I would normally like, and that's not too bad. It is a little bit short. I feel okay because it has actually like shorts inside of it, but like I knew it was going to be short, so when it got here and I was like, oh, that's a bit short, I wasn't so disappointed because I knew that it was shorter than my favorite length skirt. I hope that makes sense, but Himekaji, they don't really do that many pants, so you're pretty much going to be in skirts and dresses. So getting the length measurement, if you're going to be doing dresses, get a full length measurement for your favorite length dress as well, is actually really helpful because I find them quite short personally. I'm 163 centimeters, and these, yeah, if you're much taller than me, you're probably going to find them very short. One of the other things about having a Japanese free size is that your waist is usually elasticated. Not always, but usually. So a lot of the time they'll give you 2 waist measurements. One is smaller, which is the skirt when it's just sitting normally, and the other one is the larger, which is the maximum width it can stretch to. So this one, for instance, of course, has an elastic back, so it's really nice and stretchy, which makes it easier for more sizes to fit into. But sometimes you do have to be careful about how wide the elastic is, because a wider elastic band can sometimes fit poorly. So these tootless Lisa skirts are a really good example. So the front one has a really small elastic waistband, it's only this wide, and the back skirt has a wider elastic waistband, which is this wide. This one actually isn't that much wider, but because my hips come outwards quite soon after my waist, it means that this doesn't fit properly, or it's really hard to keep it on. So every time I move to the side and make the elastic move, it flips up, and I'll put in a clip to show you what I mean, and I have to constantly pull it back down and tug it down, which is so annoying. My shape in particular is much better suited to a thinner waistband because it sits exactly where I want it to on the smallest part of my waist, giving me much more definition, and it doesn't move throughout the day, which is so annoying. But in general, I find that the skirts and sometimes the shorts from Japanese brands are much easier for plus size princesses to fit into because they do have the free waist. I would just be careful of a lot of the skirts having tulle in it, so that is this piece down here that makes the skirt more voluminous. Sometimes you don't want parts of your body to stand out more, and it depends on where those parts are. So for this skirt, for instance, it does come quite far down in the sort of like waist area, so it has a V shape, which sometimes can look good, but it needs to be like a couple of centimeters higher on my body because it actually hits the widest point of my stomach. My stomach is bigger than I would like it to be, and it's a point where I don't want to accentuate it, so when I stand sideways it doesn't look that nice because it does have the tulle here. The tulle is adding extra volume to my stomach. It's not as flattering. Same with the shirt, it has that little ruffle down the bottom which gives me more bulk to a place where I do not want the bulk to be. So it's not the most flattering of pieces for me, but you live and you learn. The other part of the Japanese one size brand that I wanted to talk about is the shoes. So I have one pair of Japanese branded shoes. These are of course from Liz Lisa, and they are the pink bow boots. I think these are from last winter or a little bit beforehand maybe, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I have the size medium, and I have size 36 to 37 euro sized feet, or in New Zealand it's a size 5 or 6 in New Zealand, and that is a size medium. They do small, medium and large, but if you have really long feet, you probably are not going to be able to wear Japanese branded shoes. However, they only do small, medium and large, so if I'm 36 to 37 in medium, your small is probably going to be 34 to 35, which is pretty common in Asian countries, and then your large is going to be 38 to 39. If you have size 40 feet and above, you are not likely to fit into the Japanese style shoes. I actually worked as a shoe salesperson for about 4 years, and so I have my fair share of Asian ladies coming in and not being able to actually fit into the size 36. Sometimes we make 35s in New Zealand, but it's really not that common. So you can see where like your country has like your average size of shoes, and that's what they make them around. In Asia, the average foot size is smaller, so if you have really long feet, you are not going to fit Japanese branded shoes. And unfortunately, there isn't really much you can do about it, especially if you've got a closed toe, because if your toes are hitting the end and curling up, you're going to have a bad time. I also personally wish they did less platforms, because I'm only 163 centimeters, but I really don't want to be any taller. So a heel is fine, like just raising up a little bit. But when you add a platform to it, like I get pretty tall, like it's, I don't know, weird for me. I'm not used to seeing like above people's heads. It's like I normally look up. So now that you've got a couple of Japanese branded pieces, maybe like a couple of skirts, or if you have a smaller chest, a couple of shirts, it's time to make some really pretty outfits. But what happens when you cannot fit into like a Japanese style shirt as well as a Japanese style skirt? You obviously have to supplement with other stores. But if you don't want to buy online, you can buy things like, if you're in EU or UK, Primark is really good. Or if you're in New Zealand, like Glassons or Max Fashion, Forever New is actually a really good one as well. So apart from the skirts that I showed you, as well as that one shirt, everything else on this pastel side is just from random clothing stores. Oh, I also have a Liz Lisa scarf with a bow, which is so cute, but this bow is so big, like it's like the size of my head. So I have a couple of other skirts. So this one is from AliExpress, which you guys would have seen in my haul. It is so short. I think I'm gonna wear it for like a photo shoot and then pretty much just donate it, because like I can't, it's too short. But this is from AliExpress. And then in the middle of the other skirts there is another pink skirt from AliExpress. It's a really nice color, so it fits in with all of my other items, and it's just nice and plain. This skirt on top is actually from a brand called Max in New Zealand, and I actually picked this up at a thrift store, so I got it really cheap and it was unused. It still had the tags on it. It kind of annoys me that it's a little bit see-through, so sometimes if I'm wearing a shirt that's a little bit longer, even though it has an underskirt, I can still see the shirt's like shadow through it, which is so annoying. But again, even though it's like a minty green, it still fits in it really nicely with the color scheme because it's a nice pastel shade. This is another item from Max, which is New Zealand brand. I think it's a New Zealand brand. I actually don't know. But it's just a pastel pink denim jacket. I actually love this one. I've had it for a year and it's probably one of my most worn like overlay tops. It's just really pretty and it's a nice dusty rose shade, but this kind of pink actually goes really nicely with almost all of them. I think maybe not the pinky purple so much, but like we can make it work. And then we have some cute Primark tops. So this one is just a white one with a little bee on it, but it has these really cute ruffly sleeves, so it fits in with the Himekaji theme really nicely. This one just has pusheen on it. This one is probably the least Himekaji out of all of them, just because it's got like stripes. It's not really like the best pink for it because it's like a bright candy pink, but I still think it's really cute anyway. This one is a nice baby blue and it has a small flower detail on it, which is beautiful. That fits in with Himekaji because they have a lot of floral designs as well as those ruffly sleeves. And then surprisingly, this little grey high neck from Primark as well. So this one has the nice ruffled high neck as well as the sleeves. And even though it's a darker colour, it actually still works really well with a pink skirt. So if I put it together with this color skirt, I would still wear that and classify it as Himekaji because it's a cute like off-brand princess. Himekaji doesn't usually use greys, but I mean I do, I don't really care. Zara is also a really good one. So I have two of very similar tops. They both have pearl necklines, but one is white and one is a pale grey colour. This one's a little bit fluffy, so it's a bit better for winter. But again, these work really well. The pearl detail gives it like a little touch of like princess elegance. But other than that, it's just a plain white crop top. These are actually some of my favourites for like a very casual princess day. Like if I'm going to meet someone for the first time and I don't want to be overwhelmingly like princess. These are from the brand called Glassons, which you can get in Australia and New Zealand, and it's basically just a white chiffon blouse. Like there is no detail, nothing. It actually has like a really high side split, which is really flattering if you're wearing it with pants because it gives you a little bit of shaping down the side. But with a high-waisted skirt, you can't see it. It just looks like a white blouse. So I have this in white, pastel pink, baby blue, and this really pretty minty color. And similarly from a brand called Witchery, I have the same sort of thing but in like a t-shirt material. So this is like a plain cotton. It just comes in white and blue. I have this in grey stripes, black and white stripes as well. It's one of my favorite styles of t-shirts, but these you can still put with Himekaji fashion. It gives it a really casual vibe. So again, if you don't want to be too intense, or if you're just getting into the style and you don't want to be like overwhelmingly different in the crowd, Something like this is actually really nice to pair with like a bit more of an attention grabbing skirt, because people only really see the skirt, whereas like if you wear a full Himekaji outfit, sometimes people do stare. I don't really find it problematic because I ease myself into it really slowly, but like this is a good way of just toning it down a little. This is a really cute top from a brand called Only Go, or ON-Y-Go, which I found in Berlin. It's just a white sweater. It's a very bright white though, and it just says whatever forever in a little pink heart. It's not technically Himekaji, but it goes nicely with the fashion, so who cares. And this super cute, again white, but it's not the same white as the other one. This is another piece from Zara. It's got that really nice little scallopy hemline, and it has it on these sleeves as well. So this is really cute to wear with high-waisted pants or skirts, because this kind of tightness doesn't do super well across my stomach, so I can use the skirts to hide that screen. I also have a bunch of sweaters, so like little crop tops that can go over skirts and dresses. These ones I actually picked up in Taipei off street market vendors. One has just got Marie from Aristocats on it. It's starting to get a little discolored because it's old. And then that one has a little like black and white Bambi, which I think is super adorable. And again, these are really good colors, and they just give me a little bit of like warmth and cuteness. Again, technically not really Himekaji, but it's still cute. I only have one shirt from Japanese brands, and it is this one from Liz Lisa. It was the biggest one that I could find in the bust measurement. I don't really mind about the rest of it. I can cope. But this was, I think, 90 centimeters in the bust, and it just like there is no way that it is going to fit. It is way too small, as sad as that makes me. But yeah, it's really difficult. And I think I was kind of dumb when I got it, because I was like, yeah, like maybe it would fit. But it's chiffon, and chiffon, I knew it was chiffon, and I know that chiffon doesn't stretch, so there was no way that I was actually getting into that, unfortunately. But if you can find something that resembles your size in the bust area, if that is the problem, and it's made of like a stretchy material like this, or if it's made of like cotton, which has got a bit more stretch to it, you're going to have a better time than getting something that is chiffon. I haven't actually had much luck with the shirts in Japanese brands, although I do see that Encre Rouge has been making some bigger shirts from their newest collection. They're still one size, but they're measuring up to like 94 to 96 centimeters on the bust, which gives me more of a chance to actually fit into them. I haven't actually tried anything from Encre Rouge yet, because when I looked at them last, they had teeny tiny measurements. Like the skirts were measuring at like 65 centimeters, and I was like, ha, there is no way. So I haven't bought anything from them before, even though I really like their clothing and I would like to. So let me know if you'd like me to try some of the Encre Rouge shirts to see if they are actually like a good 94 to 96, or if they're like a small 94 to 96 centimeters. Okay guys, I just wanted to show this to you guys because I actually got the shirt on. It looks horrendous, but from the section up it looks okay, so I just filmed some videos in it. Just because you can get it on doesn't mean you should sometimes. So this doesn't fit. It's like puckered around the boobs, so like even though I can get it on there, probably shouldn't be wearing it. It's extremely tight, so tight that I feel like I can't take a full breath in properly. So yes, I can get it on. My boobs are so far down because it's so tight across here, and there's more room around the waist, that like it's altered the entire shape of my body. It's bizarre. My boobs would normally be like way higher up here, but I can't get them to stay up there because the shirt is just too tight, and it's also like pushing them together, like there's no shaping. Oh my god, it looks like sad. It looks better when I have this on, because that looks no. So there we go. This is sized so that it should fit me, but it clearly doesn't. The arms are so cute. The colour is so cute, but I've got the worst uni boob I've ever seen in my life, so I'm going to go take this off. But I thought I would show you guys. Well, I'm just about to edit the video, so there you go. I have a couple of dresses and actually a raincoat to show you as well, because we haven't touched much on dresses. This is from Zara. It's a nice colour. It doesn't have the most interesting shirt, so I usually layer things over the top of this, but it's a really nice fabric. And then this one is from AliExpress. It's just a polka dot white dress, and it has these little holes at the top here which you can actually put a ribbon through if you want to look super cute. So it's an optional thing. You can just leave it open with the domes, which is totally fine because it comes up really nice and high, but it's a nice shape as well. So it comes out at the waist, but it still has a little line of like ruching there. And then one of my favorites is a pink raincoat, which is like the best color pink if it's raining and you still want to look cute. You have your pink raincoat. This is from the brand Rains. It's a beautiful material. Like, it doesn't have that gross like plasticky feeling, but it's still rainproof, and it was quite expensive, but I love it. I actually just put it on lay-by. It was great. So with the dresses, I only have a couple of pastel ones at the moment because I just haven't found any like really cute pastel dresses that fit well. Dresses I think are the harder ones for me because they really have to fit the bust, but sometimes if I get them big enough that they fit my bust comfortably, the rest of it just looks really big and it gives me no shape and they just don't look that good. And I find that with lighter colors it is especially obvious when it is poorly fitting and you can't really hide it that much. So we haven't really talked about this side of the wardrobe, so you can see that I have split my wardrobe into my pretty pastels and then my darker jewel tones. I actually use this side of my closet on a day-to-day basis much more than this side of my closet. I just find that these are a bit more work appropriate and like a little bit easier for me to dress in if I'm running out of time. The only thing that I have that would be classed as Himekaji is one skirt, which is a burgundy wrap skirt. It's really plain and it just ties up at the back, but it is the right kind of color. It's showing up a little bit brighter on screen and it's throwing the balance way off, but it's a really pretty skirt. There are a lot of items that maybe not the right colors but are still like really cute. So this is something that's from I think Forever New, and it's got like really beautiful ruffly shoulders. It's got like a tie bow at the back. It's super cute, but I wouldn't really necessarily consider this Himekaji because it's not really within the colors and it doesn't fit with anything else that I would consider Himekaji. But I do also have quite a few bags. This one is branded as Liz Lisa, but it's from AliExpress and it's not Liz Lisa. The other stuff is just all like New Zealand brands. So most of it is actually Himekaji brand, which is a really nice brand and they have really pretty colors. This is something that I could put with any Himekaji outfit because it's the right kind of pink. It actually matches these sorts of things really nicely, but it is like a little bit big for everyday carrying. Also, most of my shoes are not Japanese branded because expensive and I'm really picky with my shoes. I have about 70 pairs at the moment, which is not super good and I need to clean them out, but they're all hanging on this side of the wardrobe down the bottom, which I'm standing in the way of, and then also there are more up the top too. So once you've got your items from your Japanese brands or your non-Japanese brands, you just need to put your outfits together, and this is pretty much just however you would like to. For me personally, I like to have either like a printed or exciting looking skirt with a less exciting looking shirt, or the opposite, so an exciting shirt or a plain skirt, but it really is personal preference. I also don't prefer the matchy that a lot of princesses do with Himekaji, so they'll have the same print on the top as well as on the bottom. I don't personally like this as much, but again, that is personal preference. My sleeves are starting to come out of the end of this jersey because this jersey is so short. My sleeves are much longer. You can also do a lot of accessories as a plus size princess, so like the bags, you don't need to be any size to wear them, and like the hair bows. There are plenty of things that you can do to like add like the extra details to your outfit without actually having to wear them. But yeah, that is it for my recommendations for plus size princesses wanting to dress in the Himekaji fashion. So measure yourself so that you know if you're going to fit into the clothes and you're not wasting your money. Make sure you know what sort of style you like and what is going to be flattering to your body type. Don't be afraid to purchase Himekaji style items from places that are not technically Himekaji or Japanese branded. You can mix and match, it doesn't really matter. And be confident with how you dress. If you like how you look, doesn't matter if anybody else doesn't. Like, who cares? And even if it's just you dressing up in your house for no one else to see, if that makes you happy, that makes you happy. Who cares? So that is it for me today. Let me know if you'd like me to try some of the other Japanese fashion brands like En Rouge to see how these sizes compare to some of the other brands. Pretty much I've only ever tried Liz Lisa because I knew that I would fit them. But yeah, let me know if that is something that you guys would be interested in seeing. And let me know what you thought of this video. I hope I didn't make it too long because I do kind of ramble and sometimes it's not clear what I'm talking about, but I try and cut it down as much as I can. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!